Flight boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon, Flight boss, the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucker responsibilities. And right now, I want to make something clear for the blindness. I want to have a little bit of clairvoyance for the influence. You know what I'm saying? So the sun is on trial. Yeah, the actual sunlight. It's on trial. And, you know, I want to even spice things up a little bit. I would even like for, you know, the battle rapper Daylight to see this video right here. So I'm going to even put this in the title. But this is what I want people to do, right? Because, you know, people are under the perception of what you need to do when it's daytime. You see what I'm saying? And people got all these misunderstandings about daytime and the day, and you got religious people think that the sun is doing what it's doing because of us in some way, shape, or form. They got all these different philosophies. You got people telling you that the sun is the most important thing, and you got people telling you that you need the sun, and you got fake conscious people telling you look at the sun. Then you got a bunch of people who even use terms without even knowing that they're using terms that put them in certain patterns and frequencies of being in hell. When a person use hello all the time or good morning all the time, a mourning is no way around it. You mourn at a death. So we know the sun comes up and causes transformation. That's what life and death is. So the sun is the most maximum version of a transformation, or it caused the most transformation that y'all see. So this is where you even get the frequency vibration concept in your mind to even come up with something called mourning. So this is why the same frequency vibration is no matter how it's spelled, it's correlated to someone's death, and it's still correlated with someone saying good morning. You see what I'm saying? At the same time, to the point that you would even come up with excuses to say that the death or the transformation of a person at that morning will be good in some way, shape, or form. So you see, it's an understanding in that way. But yeah, saying hello, you're hello, you're being underneath. You see what I'm saying? So you have to make sure that the words that you're using, you know, you have to make sure you understand the words that you're using, because you're creating and manifesting circumstances in your day, in your life every day. Now, the purpose of this video right here is because when you look at a day, why? Now, everything has a frequency vibration to it. This is why you even see the shape and form taking place in the energetic realm, as we see as the physical realm, right? So why do we call a day a day? Where did that energy, where did that come from? Who put that in the world first to call it a day? And why do everybody agree on it? Because, you know, when you have a day a few times, these are multiple days. So when you look at days, right? But when you look at the definition of days, here people about to say it's a play on words. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the word. If it's a word, male, jail, hell, it doesn't matter. It's the same frequency. Now, the more vibrational, energetic frequencies it got to it, that means the more letters it got, or the more ideas, the more definitions it got, the more perceptions it got. But it's truly the same frequency. It's truly the same. It's truly doing the same thing. It's just the more it got added onto it, the more experience, the more representations and shapes and forms and experiences you may see from it. And then the lighter it is, then that's the lesser experience or representation you see from it. But it's truly the same thing. It's just a trickling down type of thing. So when we look at things like the hello, or even when we look at as I was just getting ready to say, days, right? It's the same thing. So when you look at the definition of days, I want everybody to go look at the definition of daze, D-A-Z-E. The definition is make someone unable to think or react properly, stupefy, or bewilder, whatever this basically creating an illusion for somebody, making someone unable to think. That's the definition of a daze. Now look, and here's the other definition, the noun of it. That was the verb. Here go the noun: a state of stunned confusion or bewilderment. You see what I'm saying? So that's daze. So when you are experiencing daze, it doesn't matter how you want to look at it. That's what's actually going on. You see what I'm saying? So you'll go look at the definition like, no, when you look at DAYS, it's just saying a 24-hour span or whatever. Okay, so what's taking place in this 24 hours? And this is why I blame the sun for a lot of things, because the sun is what's creating the days for y'all. So we know that it's always night. There's no such thing as the sun rising and going down. The sun is just doing what it's doing. Now, based upon what's relative to you and your position and your location within the universe, that's just how you perceiving things. But for the most part, it's always dark, and you don't see a day, or you don't see the light of day or the days or the maze until that representation of that light come across your location or your area or your perspective. You see what I'm saying? And then that's when your area is in that daze for that moment. You see, in that illusion for that moment. Until the sun go away. See, I don't like to say down. Until the sun go away from your location, and then you're no longer in that daze. You're no longer in that blindness. You're no longer in that veil. You're no longer in that illusion. You actually see the actual concept. You actually can see the actual stars out there. You see what I'm saying? Beyond this star that's closest here, that's blinding you, and it only wants you to see it. You see what I'm saying? It only wants you to praise it. So this is another reason why I would like the rapper Daylight to see this also, because, you know, this is correlating to some of his science that I've been watching lately. Him kicking what he been kicking, and his name just being Daylight. Just by his name being Daylight, he's going to be up under certain illusions, and he's going to utilize logic, that illusion, logic, lights, and influences in order to interpret his realm of reality. Which is, I want to say, there's no right or wrong thing to anything. It's just what you choose to do. We live in a free universe. You see what I'm saying? A free of choice universe, and it's just based upon what you do. You ain't gonna never get what you want or need, but you always gonna get what you deserve. So when you see somebody getting what you want or need, and you feel like you deserve it, but you're not getting it, 9 times out of 10, you're not doing something for you to deserve it, and that person deserves it in some way, shape, or form. Now, there's going to be many things in their life that they want and need that they're not going to be able to deserve. So it's always going to even itself out, because it's always an expansion and contraction. Everything is expansion and contraction. This is where positive, negative come from. Everything come from. But for the most part, getting back into this video, we want to talk about days, maze, and a phase. Now, what is a maze? Let's look at a definition of what's a maze. Now, what's the definition of maze? Now, the definition of maze is a network of paths and hedges designed as a puzzle through which one has to find a way. So what do you do when it's daytime? You're able to see, you're able to do everything you got to do. Then when it's nighttime, or quote-unquote nighttime, I just like to say when the sun is away from your location, you need other lights in order to be able to see that maze that was created, that network of paths that was created as a puzzle of networking to find your way. You can't find your way in the dark, right? So look, everything is correlated to the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Now, let's get to a phase. What is a phase? Now, what's a phase definition? Now, a phase is an alteration of a noun, rare, verb. Hold on, nah, this is phase, F-A-Z-E. Now, I meant to put phase as a going through a phase. That's P-H-A-Z-E. Yeah, here we go, right here. Alright, phase definition. Now, a distinct period or stage in a process or change or forming, change, keyword change, that's transformation, life, death, or forming, that's what the sun do, it forms things, formulates things, or part of something's development. The sun develops. So what you call development or life is really death and transformation all in the same thing, right? Or change or process of change. So you age based upon how many sun years you've been. You've been here. You start to age. You start to change, the stage of process of change. So you see what the sun is doing? So when I make videos about the sun being evil or the sun is creating the illusions that y'all up under, the same government that all y'all fake conscious motherfuckers out here is trying to fight against and this, that, and they're not doing nothing but what the sun is doing. You can't be consciously aware of anything that's outside of the realm of reality, which you can if you know how to utilize your other stars, your other planets. But if you a person who don't know thyself and you just here logically trying to understand this illusion, you're going to be still going by the same type of ideas that this sun that you're up under and these other planets that you're up under is creating for you. To the point that it's going to make you think that there's no planets anymore. Where there's a big ass star and the moon and other shit that you can see. You see what I'm saying? That's how deep it is. That's how much the sun will be like, nah, fuck all that other shit. You just know me. You don't know nobody else. You praise me. The sun will have you really thinking that the other planets and stars don't exist. This sun will have you thinking that this is the only world just for you. This is a hell cell just for you, and that this sun is just for you. Nobody else. It became your God, your Jesus. It became your Muhammad. It became your everything. What's that, a fucking spider? So I be getting attacked. I be getting a motherfucking attack. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It come in all kind of ways, shapes, and forms. So you have to understand. Just when I say you can have plenty of people that's evil, that don't mean that they don't have no goodness in them or they don't do good things. Like I said, there's no such thing as good or bad. It's just what a person doing that's relative to them, and it's how far they're willing to go with it, or if they're doing it in moderation or not. Now, for the most part, that's the thing with the sun. But like I said, I don't place no power into these humans. So when I look at fake conscious people and I hear them blame white men, or I hear them blame this, or I hear them blame the government, or I hear them blame this is called spiritual hating. You just spiritual hating. Even atheists, when they hate on religion and things of that nature, this is called spiritual hating. You know what I'm saying? You're just hating on a spirit that's using a vessel that's able to be capable to do things in this realm of reality that you can't do. And see, that's nobody's fault but yours, because you're clinging on to other people's experiences that's not yours. You may cling on to thinking you're part of the past in some way, shape, or form. You may think you're somebody of the past, or you one of them slaves or things of that nature. You may really think that's your lineage. So you start sharing similar experiences that they was experiencing. Now I don't have those experiences because I'm not a part of that shit. I didn't come in that time. My spirit not attached to that shit. So I'm not gonna sit here and resonate and make myself a part of that shit. That's why even if I see a bum at the gas station, I gotta have $1 million in my pocket. I would not give a fucking penny to a fucking bum at a gas station. And you know why? Because whatever energy vibration that they're in to create the experiences that made them experience them having to be in front of a gas station, I don't want no parts of that. Now, if I start to feel sympathy or things of that nature and come out and create excuses like I'm coming out the kindness of my heart to give them something like that, no, those are excuses. Really what I'm doing is attaching emotional vibrations to them. As soon as you start to resonate, that's you creating emotional vibrations to them. And water connects. We know water connects. And what connects with the rainbow water is able to manifest and create circumstances and situations to the point that in some way, shape, or form, I will experience a similar circumstance that they are experiencing. And whether it's in a light way or a heavy way. In a heavy experience, depressing way, or a lighter way that don't affect me as much. It doesn't matter if it's the next day, next week, next month, next year, 10 years down the line. In some way, shape, or form, I'm going to experience in some light or heavy way what they experience. And I'm letting you know right now, I'm not even coming back here in this world. So while I'm here now, I'm goddamn sure ain't about to be experiencing anything they about to be experiencing. They gotta take my spirit very fucking serious. So that's what the fuck I mean by it. Because I'm not even attached to the money that will be in my pocket to even create emotional vibrations around that, to think that that's something I'm supposed to give to somebody else in order for me to be in some type of higher state. See, that's all religious talk. I don't even give a fuck about that shit, if I had it or if I didn't have it. That's why I'm in a vessel, to be able to have what I deserve and not what I want or need. The people who's in front of, oh, this is about to die. You know, the people who may be bums in front of a gas station, this, that, and the third, they getting what they deserve. Because what they want or need is out of their attention span. they might want to need that shit too much, and they spirit keep creating circumstances and situations for them to try to kick in their motherfucking body. That nigga, you don't want that shit. You don't need that shit either, because it got your ass out here in front of the gas station with nothing in your pocket, motherfucker. Don't ask me for $1, nigga. I'm gonna tell you I got an application or something, nigga. So you see what I'm saying? So this is what you gotta understand. So when I say shit like that, I don't want to hear nobody who got some fake ass religious morality like, oh, he won't help out bums or this, that, and the third of that. That's because you don't even understand your spirit nature. And I hope your spirit be in hell as long as it is until you get to my point to be able to understand it in my way that I'm saying it. You see what I'm saying? So that's a motherfucking day. And what I just explained right there correlate with it, because these are things that goes on within this maze. And when people go through many phases and transformations in their life, it's all correlated back to the motherfucking sun. So don't be out here giving your power, giving all this power to these humans and paying attention to them and trying to give them power that they don't have. AKA talking about the government, this, that, and the third, and this, that. They ain't doing nothing but what the motherfucking planets and the sun is fucking doing on a higher level. And once you choose to understand that, you'll be able to know when to use these motherfuckers for what they for and not to get too lost in these motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? Because you are a part of a system too of your own. So the more you could be an individual and more know how to make yourself a part of yourself, the more you could become your own source, to the point that you don't need these things. To the point that if it ever was to become a time that the sun was the just jump up and go to another rotation and said fuck this rotation and all the other planets leave, and then this earth is just here cold and darkness and things of that nature, and then this body dish off, spiritually you wouldn't give a fuck. Spiritually you probably couldn't wait to die anyway. You get so spiritually high you probably be like, man, I hate even being here anyway. So once you get to that point, you already spiritually didn't need that shit because you already in your own source. So when it trickled down physically in the physical realm, you ain't gonna give a fuck anyway either. So you gonna go to a better place than all the other people who in search trying to travel wherever that sun was trying to go when it left here. See what I'm saying? So don't be no motherfucking follower, and I mean that spiritually. Flight boss, bitch, goddamn air. Ee-hee. So when we talk about a motherfucking day and all these motherfucking terms that everybody want to use correlating to the day, be careful to what you fucking saying, because the sun is motherfucking is motherfucking just switchable just like you. So same way a nigga could be good and positive from time to time, they could be negative also. And when we talk about days in general and these mazes and phases that motherfucking going in, that's the motherfucking negative portion of it. The positive portion of it is shit you can be consciously aware of and shit you can see and decipher and you can act upon. That's the positive of it. The illusion, the light, the filter, the phase, the days, what we call days, how we try to correlate it in concepts and shit like that. That's the negative part of it. So this is how societies is built. This is how governments is controlled. You see what I'm saying? And where the fuck did they get that from? I just explained it. Flight boss, bitch, goddamn air.